Commissioner Arends, you've listed 3 items on here for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With regard to the first agenda item, update to Lincoln and Minnehaha County jail populations. Commissioner Schmidt and myself recently met with Sheriff Mills and Sheriff Swenson. Went up to meet with Sheriff Milstead, Commissioner Gene Bender, as well as the Minnehaha County Chief Deputy. We discussed potential solutions to our jail and prisoner population. I want to thank Commissioner Schmidt for setting that meeting up with Sheriff Milstead, and then Sheriff Swenson attended as well. So as a result of our meeting, we discussed potential different solutions. And before I get into those solutions, what I want to talk about is what one of the requests was from Sheriff Milstead. So one of the things that we discussed is how much runway, how much space does Minnehaha County have to house Lincoln County prisoners, as well as how long will Minnehaha County have that space. And so in order to make that determination, Sheriff Milstead asked that we dust off both the Lincoln County and Minnehaha County prisoner population studies that were done by Bill Garnos. And there was, at least on the Lincoln County side, there was unanimous consent from myself, Commissioner Schmidt, and the sheriff that we get that done, since we're the requesting party. So what we agreed to do and bring forward to this commission for approval was to have Bill Garnos do an additional study regarding Minnehaha County's jail population. So as it stands right now, Minnehaha County currently takes all of Lincoln County's prisoners. On that specific day that we did the meeting, I think there were 55 or 56 in custody. Our current agreement, contractual agreement that we have with Minnehaha County is to only take care of 45. But what the public should know, and the rest of this commission, is that Minnehaha County, in the interest of being a good neighbor, has agreed to take all of our prisoners. So we don't have to transport them to other counties and other states. And there was round agreement in the room as well that that is not a preferable solution. So essentially, and Commissioner Schmidt, of course, can add whatever comments he wants after this, but Minnehaha, and these are just preliminary discussions, just so the public knows, these are preliminary discussions, but we do have a unique opportunity here where Minnehaha County will take all of our prisoners for as long as they can. And we need to have further discussions with Minnehaha County to reduce that down to an actual written codified agreement. But it is definitely positive movement in terms of what they can do for Lincoln County for the foreseeable future. I don't want to get into too many of the details regarding the contract just because it's a contractual negotiation. But the broad outlines of the agreement are Minnehaha County will take all of our people as long as they can. And so, but before we can talk turkey and get down to business with regard to what the actual contract will say, Minnehaha County wanted the jail population study to determine how long they can do that for. So there seemed to be agreement that they could do this for several more years, but we need to do the jail study to make that, to formalize that process. So it was an extremely good meeting. There was good discussions, good talk, and it sounds like we've got a possible solution here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll make a motion that we direct Bill Garnos to update the Lincoln and Minnehaha County jail population studies.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that with a comment.
All right, Mr. Schmidt, Commissioner Schmidt.
Well, I would echo what Commissioner Arends has to say. I thought it was extremely positive that we can have an answer to our incarceration needs. One of the things that we learned also was that, you know, we talked about their charges that they have, which probably really reflect their actual charges. But some of the things that we are not charged for are the bookings when we have prisoners that come in and they do that themselves without any charge to us. I was warned by the fact that both of our sheriffs were in agreement and could look at each other and say this would be the best possible solution. I think there are safeguards in there for both sides to evaluate continually on our particular needs. But overall, I think this will be a good solution for us and answer our incarceration situation for years to come.
Any other commissioners have a comment?
Well, I'd like to know the cost of updating the Garno study and what amount of it is attributed to Lincoln County and what amount is attributed to Minnehaha County, because it seems like they would need to be updating their own jail study anyway, so I'm not sure why Lincoln County should pay for that. If Commissioner Arends can speak to that.
Commissioner, you can, Commissioner Arends, but what I understood, Commissioner, was that they had just finished their study and their long-range projections while building the jail. And I don't know the last time that we really did ours to look at realistically what our incarceration numbers would be. Commissioner Arends, I'll defer back to you.
Yeah, so since we're the requesting party here and we're the ones seeking prisoner lodging in Lincoln County, there was consensus in the room, at least, that Lincoln County would pay for it. And Sheriff Swenson was going to look into the cost. Sheriff Swenson didn't seem to have a problem with it. We thought the cost would be about $1,500 to $2,000. But if we want to make a phone call to find out from Bill Garnos how much it'll cost before we do it, I don't have a problem with that, and we can revisit it. That's not an issue at all.
Are you, is there a time, excuse me, Commissioner Arends, Commissioner Schmidt, is there a necessity that it take place today, or could we just table this until our next meeting and maybe have that information?
Absolutely, we can table it, no problem. And
I'd look for a motion to table.
so move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion is seconded. I
Second.
already have it.
Commissioner Landine.
All right, he relinquishes to Commissioner Landine. Any questions on tabling? Commissioner Gillespie?
I'll just make a comment. It's not on the tabling. I just want to thank Commissioner Schmidt, Commissioner Arends, Commissioner Bender, Sheriff Swenson, and Sheriff Milstead and the other jail person that was there, I think, you mentioned him, for moving forward with a meeting and moving in a positive direction. And I just want to thank you, both of you, for taking your time to do that. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Very good. A motion is now to table. Is there any other questions on tabling? Sean, please call the roll.
Question, were those, the previous motions were retracted, the motion and second?
No, no, they'd have to retract, yes. Would you retract your previous motion?
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt?
Yes,
yours? All right.
retract the
Thank you,
second.
Sean, for that clarification.
Commissioner Arends,
Yes.
Commissioner Gillespie,
Yes.
Commissioner Landine, Commissioner Schmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner Poppins.
Yes. Very good. Your